The video would be down with the people sitting on the couch saying that Lance Taylor stepped down. When I knew that wasn't true. Captain knew that wasn't true when we saw it. The person who owns this organization is going to step down. They own the logo. They own the name. The founder of it, he's going to step down. He wouldn't step down, and he hasn't stepped down. So we knew that was a lie. And those people that's in the video are still in cahoots with him. That was a poor publicity stunt on their behalf. Okay, we're going to say this, and we're going to be on, it's going to seem like we're on the side of the survivors, but we're really not, and we're going to keep it going, and we're going to run with this guy, but we just got to do this for our image. Isn't that what Mickey Benson said to B. Stinger? You're ruining the brand. That B. Stinger now goes back and says, I was 18, and it wasn't molestation, and he's not gay. If a man is having sex with the same sex, regardless if it's pedophilia or rape, he's gay. That's like a no-brainer. So this guy's recanted his statements. Gee, I wonder why he recanted his statements. Money talks. I don't have proof on that, but why else would he do it? Besides his little public notoriety he's getting that makes him happy with his garbage-ass fucking rap songs and his videos where he's fucking naked with a pillow in front of him and shit. Weird shit. Weird shit. I never even seen the guy. Kevin, did you ever see him? I never seen him. I never seen him at a Universal. I didn't see him at Marcus Garvey Park or Katona Park. I didn't see him at no anniversary. Never seen him because he was somebody that may have been down, but as a member, what chapter were you in? Because that's how people such as Cabin and myself, to another brother I interviewed a few years ago, L1, that is in Zulu Union, we meet, what chapter are you in? Why is that an important question? Because we're putting work in. And we're doing what we think or thought was the right thing to do. We're putting work in here. And you're just going to roll up here and say and claim and represent something, but you haven't done shit? Who the fuck are you? Because you down with somebody? You get no respect. You get no respect. So money talks. That's what it's about. It's this image. It's, oh, look at this. The beauty of hip hop, how it's unifying everybody. And it's not unifying everybody. What about the survivors? What about the fact a survivor has to turn on the fucking news and see you on there after the statement you made? It's insensitive. But money talks. That's what the little celebration is going to be about. The 50 we made to a half a century. Good. That's what's up. But you got scumbags. You got scumbags that knew what the fuck this guy was doing, that don't have no balls to say shit, don't want to say shit, don't care, or too scared to talk. But, you know, these are my friends. These are my amigos here. And I have to make an income. And if I break friendship with this guy, then this could break friendship with this guy and that guy. And I may not be able to host a hip hop show. I may not be able to spin at an event. I may not be able to rock the mic at a certain event. My artwork may not be displayed. I may not be able to go on tour to Tokyo to fucking dance, whatever the fuck it is. So, they're scumbags. Cabin, DJ Cabin, rhyme selector himself. Oh shit, my fault.
I didn't know. I thought it was going to be a little more interactive. I was just posted up right here.
Yeah, there you go.
But you know, I don't know exactly what order to respond. Like,
you just
that was definitely a lot.
What you want to do? Act like I'm there, and we're smoking a blunt, and we're having one of our typical conversations. It's just some people watching.
Nah, I feel you. I mean, yeah, I'll say a few things, but you might want to ask me some kind of questions or something, I guess, you know, to get in a direction, you know. But I would say, as far as with like, well, look, let me just say this shit first, because obviously it's Aggie that that whole interview, and he's calling people bitches that left, and it's wild because I could see it like people left and didn't say shit, you know, or those people, you know, but we spoke out, you know what I'm saying? We marched over the fucking bridge, you know what I mean? I talked about this on FM radio, you know, in the middle of the dial, you know, several times, you know, New York City FM radio, you know, Layla interviewed tons of people, you know, in her documentary. Obviously, Poppy, Hassan Campbell spoke out, you know, in so many ways. So it's like, why are we even addressing shit like, you know, on a like, even how that documentary was, you know, like obviously it was real soft, you know, and just like getting way into all other kind of like or KRS-One's comments. You know what I mean? Like they're like addressing it like as if, you know, it's just a music thing, you know, and obviously Bambaataa's taking it like it's a government thing, right? And the only reason that government thing works, as I was gonna say, is because I mean, and this is what I'm saying, like we gotta speak about it. I'm glad in that documentary at least they said like there's a crime element, you know what I mean? And it's like as far as like all the snitching type thing or whatever, when it's pedophile shit, like that doesn't really apply, you know what I mean? To an extent. So we just need to say it what it is, you know, like the reason that government mentality works is because it's run like crime, you know, it's criminal things going on and exploitation, and everybody just have KRS described, you know what I mean? People blackmailing people and backwards exploiting people. Like I know your secrets, you know my secrets. This is my particular dirt. You happen to be a pedo, you know, like it is what it is, you know. That works in a you know gang, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like we need to be able to speak about it a little bit like that, you know. Like it's been years now, you know. Pop Hassan Campbell has detailed it in that fashion. You know what I mean? Gang cult. You know, the name of the movie was Trapped in the Culture. You know, it's a gang cult, so it has a crime element to it. You know, it is what it is. Like same way we ain't afraid to like rep all these sets. You know, and talk all you know the gang language. You know, even though we might not even co-sign it 100% and all that, you know, it's the same. Like then we should have that same type of energy from when something like this it happens, you know, when one of these gangs ends up being a fucking pedo cult, you know, let's not be afraid to talk about, you know, that fact that it's a gang, you know, and it has a crime element. But so that's how the government thing works, you know, and that angle that Bambaataa's taking, you know.
But you know,
At its core, you know what I'm saying? Because at its core, it's an organization that has crime. So like they're comparing it to a government, and it actually works for a lot of the membership.
But you know, and I know that in Lance Taylor's head, when he's talking about government, he's talking about shit dealing with Moors. He's talking about Moorish, like a something of the Moor, taking from the Moorish government, taking from the Moorish sovereignty. Because remember the conference call that was leaked that's mysteriously disappeared, where Dr. Richard Reeves says to three other Zulu kings, he goes, Bam or Lance Taylor registered the Zulu Nation as a religious sovereign organization in 1995. And here, to even validate this even more,
that's just the angle he's taking.
Yes, it is the angle.
I think
right
Bam
here,
looked at it as all the same.
But look at this.
U.S. government, the Moors, you know, it's all the same.
It's a hustle. It's a scam. But this right here, the Constitution book, the Zulu Constitution book, which he took.
I never even seen that shit like that.
Which he took from
Like
Dr.
a scroll. Yeah, I never even seen that like a scroll like that.
Yes.
I've seen the Constitution printed out.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't even small like that.
Yeah, this is the book.
That's
and this is when
it's 100% like a York book.
Yeah, that book came.
I didn't even know that.
This came out in the late 90s, and this was when York, Port, Dork, Shork, whatever his name is, from whatever galaxy or land, this is when he was pushing the United Nuwapian Nation of Moors hard with the sovereignty and with Moors. And this is when, at the same time, Lance was pushing both. He was pushing more so non-Temple Moor type stuff. It's still incorporating Drew Ali and Dr. Pork's ideology. This is why on that call you hear, oh, YD, who was Raphael, who became YD. Because Bam gave him that name. It was a Nuwapic name. Right? YD's another scumbag. But so let
in the least, not to say I'm not gonna tell you to be nice because fuck them, but you oversimplify when you just like call him a scumbag, or what you say about Sabir. Sabir's a nice guy, you know.
Yeah, he's a nice guy that likes to get in taxi cabs with people and not pay his fare. Real nice guy. And don't say that that's not true. All right.
He's nice.
You know where I get the weed from?
He's been nice to me and cordial anytime I've ever.
Yeah, he has been nice. He has been nice. He is a nice dude. He's an opportunist pseudo. All right. So
now, I've seen him be rude though. So I hate.
So let me ask you something. Being that you're in your seat and I'm in my seat, now I'm gonna put it to 450 degrees right now.
I don't know how we got to the Moors already. Like you get me on record talking about like people that I built with.
But it is what it is though. We're not lying about nothing. You didn't say nothing disrespectful. I did. I called people pseudo and scumbags. I'll live with that because I'm not gonna sugarcoat.
I think people get caught up in some of these schools of thought because of the accolades that they get, and they get a little, they get a little corrupted with the corruption de facto, just by the corruption, because it's not that like everything is bad about the Moors and what they try to do, and right, we also had like much more old school interpretations, like when they wore the black fez, and stuff like that, stuff that was more centered on the upliftment, the corruption grows like a virus, so I'm just saying, I like to put a little disclaimer on it, at least like that, like I don't, I appreciate a lot of these schools of thought, and the people sometimes like de facto get corrupted, by the corruption that's inherent in the organizations that's built up over time,
Okay.
Disclaimer, PSA. All right, now we can move on.
Okay.
You could call people scumbags again.
All right. So these scumbags, one of the things that was stated on the document, I just want to point this out real quick, was stated that Lance Taylor was the leader, that he was in the black schools. All right.
Sorry, I was addressing the chat. Pardon myself.
Yeah. So first of all, Lance Taylor was not a black spade. He wasn't a black spade. He was a baby spade. But he was not a black spade.
He wasn't in spades long enough to be in a regular division?
From what I know, from people who were there, they state that he was not a black spade, that he was not a warlord, that he was a baby spade. So when there's people who were there that were spades, what am I going to do? Argue them down and tell them that they're not telling the truth? You know what I mean? Like,
you can become the leader of a baby division.
Yeah, but let's emphasize
you can't
that.
be a warlord of a baby division.
That emphasis should be placed there, along with it didn't originate in 73.
So let KRS-One tell it, and he was the warlord of the whole space.
Yeah, but let's also leave it to KRS-One that if it wasn't for Lance Taylor, there'd be no hip hop, which is not true either.
Yeah, no, and that's why the year is important too. That's why I was mentioning it in that documentary.
Yes.
You know, and it's always important because that's what's allowing people to do all type of appropriation and co-opting and, you know, this corruption of the narrative, and, you know, it's definitely pivotal. Like even with the museum, and like this I mean, all right, this is gonna be an interesting place to have this conversation. But well, first of all, just calling, you were touching on before too, right? Just calling hip hop a culture is de facto discrediting Black American culture, you know, certainly regional Black American culture, you know, New York City Black American cultures. Like you're taking them out of that like creation and inventor space just by calling it that, you know. It's not even accurate or proper, you know. And that's where, again, well, a lot of these problems with the year come into play, and who created it and who started it, you know. Because now you see that 77, and we're gonna get into it right now. And you see, when you see that when you see that 73, and then you got guys like Fat Joe doing the museum, defending Bambaataa low key or high key, and saying, yeah, you know, Puerto Ricans are half, you know, like, or rather saying Puerto Ricans, you know, were right there, you know, with inventing hip hop with Black folks in 73. It starts to be a problem, and this is where you can illustrate exactly what happens. You know what I'm saying? Because for him to say that now, the Bronx is half Spanish now, you know, at least, maybe more, you know, 50-60% Spanish, you know. Back then, it wasn't anything like that, and they're not there in the beginnings the way they describe it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So when he says that in modern times, and this is what I'm saying, where it ties into the corruption, you know, and he's defending Bambaataa, and you know, as a Puerto Rican New Yorker, you know, from the Bronx, for a museum that's going to be in the Bronx, that's going to benefit the Bronx, that's half Puerto Rican, that's half Spanish now. You know what I'm saying? The implication is, oh, that we created it half and half. You know what I'm saying? It was half Puerto Ricans and half Black Americans that created and invented hip hop and was doing it for the beginning years. Truth be told, when you really start dealing with that 77 year and thinking about it, when lab folks came into the cipher, it was with dancing, right? It was through the b-boards. That was originally only Black folks. You know what I'm saying? For that first 4-5 years from 72, because you really can say 72 with the dancing at least, right? So for that's 72, because the dancing is before hip hop even, right? But so from 72, or b-boying rather, from 72 to 77, you know, it was Black Americans doing the dancing, you know. And I'm not saying that there might have been a couple of people around, Spanish folks around, you know what I mean? But not enough to lend, you know, creative license to, or like credit for the culture, you know. The culture goes to Black Americans from New York, you know. Um, so yeah, shit like that gets real sticky with the year, because it's actually Black Americans that was doing the b-boying, and then they kind of left it alone in 76 and 77. Mind you, and this is why I'm saying, like, it shouldn't be no way, you know, like nobody needs to feel no type of way. Spanish folks was inventing their own shit in the Bronx at the same time. Got their own genre, salsa. You know what I'm saying? And they was busy with that. You know what I mean? And that's why it melded together well, slightly after, because the salsa is also dance orientated. So they already had their 1, 2, 3, 4 steps going on. You know, when they're coming into the hip hop cipher. You know, so I'm just saying that is why certain things with the year are very pivotal, you know, because it's where the things start being co-opted, and things like, you get things like hip hop culture, everybody can join. Well, I guess everybody started it too then, right? You know what I'm saying? And you start going down that road, you know. Hip hop culture is these 5 elements. Meanwhile, some of these elements are not even Black American inventions, you know, or Latin American inventions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, stuff like that is very dangerous, you know, because it opens things up to the corruption, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and the changing of the narrative is dangerous, you know. And we need to use this opportunity, you know, to get the narrative straight, you know, when it's here on the 50th year, you know, and or so-called, I'm gonna say so-called, you know, the so-called 50th year, you know, and there's all the museum, obviously, and I don't 100% align with I'm a ride with Layla, you know, and I wanted to say this to her, like, she hasn't done a show, you know, since, you know, and I've been meaning to speak to her, but, you know, like, I'm a ride with her whatever she does, you know what I mean, by default, you know. And I wish I could have actually been there a little bit more for the last protest that she had, but it doesn't exactly align up with my the way that I would go on my particular critiques, you know. But so now these are some of my particular critiques. But I definitely, you know, have a problem with Fat Joe and what he said, you know, in light of what I just referred to, as far as like trying to imply that like Puerto Rican and black like made hip hop evenly together and all that stuff, you know. And obviously like his like soft, you know, Joey Cap fucking co-signing you know, well, I don't I that's what I'm saying. It was more like a co-sign than it was a you know, acknowledging Bam. The you know, acknowledging the controversy and the scandal, you know. So like that shit was whack, you know. And I don't and that's what I'm saying. He is involved with the museum. And I think that's the problem, you know, with people involved with the museum, that they're gonna have this kind of, you know, soft, you know, sympathetic narrative about Bambaataa, you know, and they're gonna have incorrect information about the year, you know, and they're gonna do this hip hop culture kind of vibe that's, you know, also not accurate and accredited to Bambaataa, you know. Part itself, because you definitely got me just talking now, you know what I'm saying? So pardon.
All right, so here's the thing.
Cigarette, but yeah, ask me some questions or something, motherfucker. Like, damn.
I mean,
but or feedback. Like I just said a lot, actually. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what you feel.
Yeah, I'm trying to spit it out.
Yes, sir. Indeed,
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Indeed, God speak.
No, I'm not God. I'm not God. All right, so here's the thing. All right, I just got a text message. I'm being all of a sudden notified that I have to take my mother-in-law to an appointment. I knew that was going to happen today, but I just all of a sudden get this thing of, where are you? You're not there. Well, you never told me, and I didn't get an address or whatever. So now I got to go.
I told you about being prepared.
Yeah, but this was unexpected. You know what I mean? Like, had I known this, it'd be a different story. But this is the but here. When I get back, I would like to go live and continue the conversation with you on this subject. And I want to say this in fairness before people say, who the fuck is DJ Cabin?
Yeah, see, that's what happened.
No,
on Layla's joint is I didn't introduce myself or say, you know.
I know. Just hold on. Don't get all Brooklyn on me. Hold on. All right. So when I come back, we're gonna go live. You're gonna lay out who the fuck you are, right? And indeed, we're gonna talk about some other things regarding Lancy Pantsy. All right.
No doubt. You don't want to give no feedback on any of that though, real quick.
I gotta tell this lady to start getting ready, and I gotta
close
be
out, encapsulate the video.
I do, but I really have to go because I got to do this. Is like I'll tell you, it's very important what has to get done. I have to do it. So,
see, it was meant to happen, man. I got somebody at my door. This is it's gonna make good. It's gonna make good footage.
All right, so
yo.
So look, when I come back, we're gonna go live. All right.
Salute.
You're gonna be notified. All you gotta do is respond because you haven't been responding. And you're saying your toes fucking broke, but you just got look at you. You're getting up with no ease. You're walking to answer your intercom. I don't see a fucking broke toe over here. A broke toe, you have no balance.
It's a fracture. It's a hairline fracture.
Oh, okay. What did you kick somebody? Like what happened?
You got time for this?
No, I don't have time for it.
I was pushing a pallet onto a truck, and there's a metal grill that was there, and the pallet of the weight of the pallet made the metal grill come up like this. So I kicked the wreck with one toe right on the corner of the metal grill. Bang! Like full force. I was pushing it. Bang.
Yeah. So let me ask you this.
It was purple like a little squash.
Okay, were you wearing steel toe boots? No, you weren't. All right, because I know you don't have steel toe boots. Number two, are you gonna sue?
See, now we gotta close. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get off record.
Your coworkers ain't gonna watch this. It ain't scandal.
I gotta answer my door. That's it. Show's over. Good night.
All right. So everybody who's tuned in, DJ Cabin will be returning after I do my errand with my mother-in-law, and we will be back. And subscribe, share, support. Like I said, I'm gonna be back. Just have patience. Peace.